Good evening. You're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Chloe Feng. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. Government announces primary healthcare blueprint to tackle a surge in chronic diseases due to aging population. 10 million Twitter users say Elon Musk should step down as chief executive under a pool he set up. Hong Kongers will be encouraged to detect diseases early and improve their lifestyle under the government's new primary healthcare blueprint. People will receive subsidies for checkups and more public health centers will be built, Macy Mock reports.
Under a fast-aging population, the government estimated 3 million Hong Kongers will suffer from chronic diseases in the coming decade, up from the current 2.2 million. To alleviate pressure on public health care, authorities announced a primary healthcare blueprint with one central aim.
Primary healthcare focuses on prevention and early detection and diagnosis, especially using chronic diseases such as hypertension and diabetes as an example. If you can detect and diagnose these two conditions early, you will be able to avoid complications rather than waiting until complication happens and we'll have to go to all the specialists and even tertiary care. In that sense, that will help us in the long run, not just to improve our people's health, save life, but also to save money in our overall public healthcare expenditure.
Under a chronic disease co-care scheme, high-risk groups or those aged 45 or above will receive subsidies for private consultations to check for hypertension and diabetes. The 3-year pilot scheme could be launched as soon as the second quarter of next year. Undersecretary for Health Libby Lee said to enjoy the scheme, people can simply visit a private doctor listed on the government's primary healthcare register. Private doctors wishing to go on the list will have to receive additional training beforehand. The government hopes to expand the concept of family doctor as there are now only 2,600 doctors on the list, out of 15,000 practicing in the city. More district health centers will also be built in the coming years, as they will form the backbone of the prevention-oriented strategy. The public will be able to consult nutritionists and dentists to improve their lifestyle habits. Maisie Mock, HKIBC.
Medical sector lawmaker David Lam welcomed the plan, but felt authorities should do more on rehab services.
What we should be doing better is the communication between the primary healthcare system and the hospitals. Emphasis has to be put on how to offload hospitals in two ways. One, those who are already seeing specialists in the public hospitals, but who are stable, who have to be diverted back to the community. And two, those who are admitted to the public hospitals, say for stroke or for cancer surgery. These patients should be discharged relatively earlier so that they go back to the community and receive rehabilitation and further treatment in the community.
4 newly elected Legislative Council members were sworn in by Chief Executive John Lee this morning. There was a slight hiccup as engineering professor William Wong had to take his oath twice, Janice Low reports.
One day after winning the by-election, 4 newcomers to the Legislative Council were sworn in by Chief Executive John Lee in the chamber this morning. The solemn ceremony began with the singing of the national anthem. LegCo Secretary General Kenneth Chan then read out the instructions.
Honorable Adrian Ho.
New People's Party member Adrian Ho was the first to take the oath, followed by Shang Hai Long, General Manager of the artificial intelligence company SenseTime. Chinese medicine practitioner Chan Wing-Kwong, who's affiliated with the DAB party, and Associate Dean of the Chinese University's Engineering Faculty, William Wong. But when he was done, Chen pointed out that there were some ambiguities in his oath and asked him to start again.
據實聲明及確認。
Wang's second attempt was deemed valid, and the whole ceremony was completed in just 7 minutes. In another sign of the cordial relations between the government and the legislature, John Lee then proceeded to the canteen for a casual breakfast meeting with the newly elected legislators. They shared a table for light refreshments, while House Committee Chairwoman Starry Lee was also present. Wang later apologized after the meeting for his blunder during the oath-taking ceremony, saying he was nervous. But the professor became visibly annoyed when reporters pressed him again on his failure to submit consent forms regarding his election campaign. Why do I have to answer you? He challenged a reporter who asked if he had been negligent. Wang later apologized for being hostile. His colleague Chen, meanwhile, denied reports that he doesn't understand English after his party leaders rushed to answer an English query on his behalf yesterday. He may have to take a page from Shang, who took his oath in Cantonese despite only moving to Hong Kong 11 years ago.
I think Cantonese is a local language, right? So all people here can very clearly and loudly to know what I mean.
The Shanxi native pledged to speak in Cantonese as much as possible during meetings. Janice Low, HKIBC.
Farmers in the new territories were relieved after their crops survived the first frost warning this winter. But public hospitals are calling on people to stay away from emergency wards, as patients now face an 8-hour wait. Macy Mock reports.
Alarmed by the observatory's frost warning signal, farmer Mr. Zhu had been prepared for the worst when he woke up this morning. But he breathed a sign of relief following an inspection of his vegetable field in Fanling, as all his crops were intact. He said there seemed to be minimal damage to his vegetables, but was worried the plants may be permanently stunted by the cold weather. Over in Tai Mo Shan, a few hikers especially arrived before dawn hoping to see frost. But they all went home disappointed, as the minimum temperature of 3.6 degrees was not enough for ice crystals to form on surfaces. As the sun came out, the mercury in urban areas like Shamsher-Po returned to low double digits. Now in force for 4 days, the cold weather warning signal could remain until tomorrow, according to the observatory.
The forecast minimum temperature and maximum temperature would be 13 to 18 degrees respectively, which should be higher than that of today.
But before the cold spell eases, public hospitals have to cope with an influx of mostly elderly patients at emergency rooms. Terry Lau, the chief of service at Tuen Mun Hospital's Accident and Emergency Ward, said new admissions now faced an 8-hour wait before they were attended by a doctor. He urged non-emergency patients to visit a private doctor or other government clinics instead. A group which operates a hotline for elderly citizens say it received over 5,000 calls for assistance over the weekend. The Senior Citizen Home Safety Association added 2 elderly residents passed away at home and called on everyone to look after their loved ones. Maisie Mock, HKIBC.
A rescue operation is underway for dozens of Thai Navy sailors after their warship capsized. Footage released by the Royal Thai Navy showed the HTMS Sukhothai listing sharply. The vessel was patrolling in the Gulf of Thailand around 30 kilometers from the shores yesterday when strong waves and high winds caused seawater to rush into the hull. As of noon today, 75 troops have been rescued, while 31 others remain in the water. 11 of those rescued are being treated in hospital in western Prachuap province. In a move which raised eyebrows, Twitter owner Elon Musk is asking users whether he should step down as chief executive of the company. More than half of 17 million respondents felt he should, following another sudden rule change which infuriated many. In yet another tumultuous week for Twitter under the helm of Elon Musk, the company announced that it will no longer allow free promotion on its platform. It has since suspended accounts which it deemed were created solely for promoting other social media websites. People were then banned from posting content which contained links to rival platforms such as Facebook and Instagram. Emerging rivals such as Mastodon and even former U.S. President Donald Trump's Truth Social were also targeted. But TikTok, LinkedIn, and Parler were not on the blacklist, with no explanation. The sudden policy change sparked a huge backlash, including previous supporters of Musk. But official announcements on the new rules were soon removed, and the company launched another poll seeking people's views on the matter. Musk later apologized through his personal account and promised it won't happen again. The eccentric billionaire then launched another poll, asking users if he should step down as chief executive, and vowed to abide by the results. The poll drew more than 17 million participants before it closed, with more than 57% saying he should step down. Investors are now watching closely if and when Musk will honor his promise. Since his $44 billion acquisition of Twitter, Musk has been slammed for limiting free speech. The latest move came just days after he suspended the Twitter accounts of prominent journalists from big media organizations. And now let's take a look at the markets. The Hang Seng Index closed down 97 points. Top 10 active stocks: Tencent up $3.60, Meituan up $2.90, and Tracker Fund down 11 cents. Kuaishou up 80 cents, and Hong Kong Exchange lost $3.20. Forex trading against Hong Kong dollar, the euro is at 8.25, British pound at 9.47, Australian dollar at 5.21. Moving on to the UK market, the London FTSE is currently up 38 points. On to the weather now. Dry with sunny intervals tomorrow. Temperatures will range between 13 and 18 degrees. The pleasant conditions will continue into the weekend. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our main news for Monday night. Join us for more news at 11. I'm Chloe Feng. Thanks for watching. Good night.